Good morning, everyone. Let me know if my audio and video is coming through loud and clear. Let's get the show on the road as usual, discussing the recent couple of videos this week. Some really nice comments and discussion going on about these topics. Again, very personal topics about interacting with women, dating, yourself, and all that stuff, which, as far as I'm concerned, is about the only thing that really matters. If you'd like to ask me a question during this live stream, if you're here live, add a whole bunch of emojis, brightly colored emojis next to your question, just so I can see them in the feed, so I know they're a question directed at me. Otherwise, just feel free to talk amongst yourselves. I'll pop out the chat so I can see your questions a lot better in a screen all on its own. Hi to the regulars and members. Vero, August Line, just a guy. Donna, how are you? Yeah, it's a nice day here in Melbourne. Donna's from Melbourne as well. We've had a really cold winter in Melbourne this year, which I'm not complaining about. I'm more of a winter guy than a summer one. Yeah, I know, call me crazy. So, all right. Yeah, as usual, this video here, this was interesting, where I talked about this fantasy, I think, and it's not just guys, I think girls have this, where they think that their ex will come back. They'll get some sort of redemption. It's like they'll realize how great I was. And I think it's a lot of us not, like, maybe doubting that it was our fault, we weren't good enough or whatever it was, and then they'll actually see how nice I was. See, my mother and my friends say I'm a great guy. It's just a matter of time before she realizes how great I was. And a lot of women, yeah, they might, but they're not going to come back in the fantasy story that most guys think that'll happen. Like one of these romantic movies where, take a look at women's romantic movies where they get the guy, they make all kinds of mistakes, and then the guy that they miss comes back, or the guy that they want comes back, or they find the guy they want. Like all this magical stuff happens. So no matter what you do wrong, you get the magical reward at the end, the redemption. And it doesn't work that way in real life. It's a nice story. But what I think it's saying, these fantasies of ours where we think the person will come back and they're going to realize that we were the best person they had, as though they found religion. Doesn't happen. So, yeah, that was interesting. And the recent video, this one here, what makes a decent girlfriend? And kind of imbuing that is what makes a decent person, you know? Because if you kind of asked what makes a good person, why is your friend your friend? Most of us would like stoically and clear-mindedly kind of talk about virtuous qualities. You know, it's very clear why we trust this person. They've stood the test of time. They're consistent. They've proven themselves over and over and over again. When a certain thing comes up, they always react in a certain way that makes you trust their consistency, their loyalty. They stand for what's right in the same way you stand for what's right. You got the same values in both right and wrong. There's very little gray area in that, and as such, you can trust this person in your intimate sphere. Vero says, how can a woman move easily after a breakup, as in move on easily? I think I did a video or two recently about that, where I mentioned that. Partly because I think even in this video here, I think it's partly survival. I think it's a lot of... See, this is what we've got to understand as well, because survival is such a massive precursor to the decisions and the actions we take. Survival is the impulse, and if we go with the impulse, we can just justify the impulse. Don't forget that most of us, we don't actually make new choices. We feel what we feel, we want what we want, our biology wants what it wants, and then our brains automatically justify what we want, and we call it a decision. So a lot of times women's nature just wants to survive and is self-referentially more concerned with herself than anything else. She's so fearful and anxious and insecure that all that her biology and her body cares about is surviving. And so because women are also really good and versed in psychological manipulation, even of themselves, it's not just the psychological manipulation in the schoolyard where girls tear each other apart mentally, but they can do that themselves. They're so used to making up the stories that lead them to feel better, not necessarily telling themselves a story that's connected with the real world where they need to, feel uncomfortable to get to ontological security or safety. But basically, if they can feel it and think it, then that is the way it is. I think that saying fake it till you make it is a big thing that resonates with women more so than with guys, because we don't like faking it. Guys don't respect fakeness. And after a very short period of time, guys don't trust someone who's shown themselves to be fake. You can say, yeah, I'm strong enough to lift that log, and then you just continually can't. It's like a guy will forgive you the first time because you maybe wanted to. You wanted to try, you wanted to help. But then after a while, if you continue to lie, it's no longer you wanting to be the person that can lift the log. It's you're lying to the face of the same people over and over again and saying, yeah, I can lift the log, but I keep failing and letting you down. A guy will respect someone who puts up their hand and says, my bad, rather than someone who makes mistakes, doesn't own up to them, and continues to be the same person. August Lyon says, who wants an ex back? A lot of guys, especially soon after the breakup, when they're kind of going through a lot of pain and anguish and loneliness and maybe unresolved questions, things left unsaid. That's why I encourage people to think and talk better and leave everything on the table, not hide stuff, not leave it till a breakup where you come out and say, well, I never said this before, but blah, 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 and these are the things that I don't like, and all that kind of stuff. Let me know if my audio's clear and fine. It's in the red zone, but I don't think it's peaking. I always get a few people that say my audio is too low during live streams. But I've also cranked up my audio and it sounds terrible, so I don't want to do that. I'd rather you have to kind of increase your levels by maybe 1 or 2 notches than me blow everyone's audio and not being able to sort of fix that. I put up a poll, all right? And the poll was name 3 essential qualities in a partner, that you would look for. Now, obviously, off the top of my head, I came up with a couple of these, like fair, kind, communicative. There's obviously a lot more. And I was going to kind of make it a really long list, because the whole point of the video is that guys really should have a list of things, like realistic baseline list of things that a good friend would make, and not just accept pretty and a smiley face because it makes your biology feel comfortable and attractive, and therefore you equate beautiful with trustworthy. No. Your biology does, but your prefrontal cortex shouldn't. What's up with my video? Or is it just my it's kind of choppy on my Streamlabs, but it might be coming through okay with you guys. Hey, Karu. Yeah, Karu says, I love the male cope of she was always the crap one. It was never me. Very ladylike of you guys. Look, in retrospect, it's very easy to go, yeah, she was crap. But while you're in it, again, if you can't be honest enough to say, I realized she was crap afterwards, I think it's a way of self-protection to seem like you weren't stupid and save face in front of people. To say, oh, she was always like this. And so it's like, then why did you stay? It's the same with these women. It's like, I'm always going out with bad guys. It's kind of like, then you're an idiot. Why are you always going out with bad guys? I'm always attracted to them. I'm too nice. No, it's not. You're making excuses. Your life is only going to get better, and your future choices are only going to be better when you take as much ownership as you can for what you did. Look, naivety, own up to that. Like I said, guys respect guys who put their hand up and say, yeah, I was an idiot, and this is what I learned. And okay, maybe this quality in a woman is my Achilles heel. And I know that knee-jerk reaction is attracted to that, but I'm doing my best and I'm aware of it. And yes, my bad. I need to do better. That's more respectable than pretending that like, oh, I'm just such a great guy and every woman is trash and I'm so trusting and they take advantage of me. There's a lot of guys, I'll listen to them and I'll nod my head and I feel some sympathy. And then when they show me a recording of their ex-girlfriend or what she said or the way they interacted or a video of them, it's like, oh man, I've just lost a fair deal of respect for you because you painted yourself as this noble, stoic, virtuous 100% person and her as kind of trash. And I'm always wondering, why would someone like you, the way you're speaking, and I do respect you to a degree, why would you pick someone so awful? Did she hypnotize you? It can't just all be short skirts and biology. And then when I look at the way that they were speaking and how they were lovey-dovey with Psycho Pumpkin, and then it's like, well, yeah, you acquiesce to biology and you just wanted a girlfriend and you fell into that pattern, which is why I encourage guys as much as possible just to be yourself and not trying to impress a girl. There's a difference where you don't turn up to a date dressed like a slob because you're a slob playing video games and watching movies and Netflix in your pajamas at home, and so you want to be 100% authentic. Have a bit of social tact, you know? I'm saying that on a date, be the best. When they talk about being the best version of yourself, the yourself bit is the important bit. It's not be the best version of some optimal male. And people will dismiss, oh, what is being yourself anyway? It's socially constructed. That's the hamster wheel looking for excuses where you're not facing yourself and being the person you are in front of your friends and family that do respect you and you can fully relax in front of them. LL says, a bit off topic, but in my early 20s, was wondering if getting married young is better than waiting until getting into my 30s like what the current society says. The way that the current society is, look, biologically, you're better off, like our ancestors did, getting married in your early 20s. But the way society is now, and especially because we're so naive, and society keeps you naive, and it takes a lot for a man to, in a self-determined way, to break free from the shackles of submission and I'm not good enough and it's all my fault and poor me. There's all these kind of wimpy guys that are just kind of being pummeled by their single mothers and society and HR and political correctness. Why am I out of focus? I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Don't know. Strange. It's looking really weird for me on my Streamlabs, but the settings should be fine. I don't know. Anyway, let's push on. Yeah, let me know if my video, guys, is okay, if it's coming through sharp. It doesn't seem to be sharp here. No matter what I do. Just the guy says, I don't think it's very realistic to find a woman you're attracted to that also possesses a great deal of compatible character traits. I would disagree. Because I've tried the latter, or more likely the former, all my life, and so do guys. Look, again, I come back to what Confucius said. The man who thinks he can't and the man who thinks he can are both correct. Now, there's realizing what most women are like and saying no to them, especially if they're vastly incompatible with you. Not just your nature, but just as a human, decent person that, I mean, no one can trust them. No one can be consistent with them. They belong in a mental asylum. But I'm saying that isn't it better to have a sane standard for people in your life, whether they're romantic or platonic? If you can't get that in a romantic partner, then stay single. But I think having very real, sane ones, and they're sane in terms of what works in your life. I'm not talking sane in terms of, well, most of the women out there are insane, so your sane standards human won't work. I'd rather be alone and sane with or without a woman. That's my strategy. Kristen says, at some point I realized that videos talking about female nature are very similar to videos about narcissists and sociopath tactics. Women are natural psychos and narcs, so to speak. Yeah, and not getting caught up in a lot of those largely lemming-like societal external things when we're really trying to work out personal, subjective problems, compatible problems between me, the particular person here, trying to find another particular person, because that's what intimacy is. That's what this chick and me as a person is. I really, I care about women and men and society to the extent where I don't know the person and I have to deal with them generally. Fine? That's where the ontology of female nature, narcissist, society, fairness, all that sort of stuff, where you're dealing with non-intimate issues out there with people, where there needs to be some sort of way of relating or understanding or getting through it. But in your personal life, your friends, family, loved ones, we really need to focus more on the personal, and especially ourselves, so we can make better personal choices. Because you can't sort of learn everything you can about female nature and then think, well, yep, I know it. Software's fixed, so when I go out there, I'll automatically be attracted to a woman that's good for me. No. All you're going to get, if you go out there unconsciously, you are going to get biology and society coming at you. And you thinking you're confident because you know all this information. You have to consciously, the way we talk here, the way we read, the way we work out 1 + 1 = 2. When you're on a date, she's attractive, but your prefrontal cortex has to be making the 1 + 1 = 2 calculation while you're enjoying the date. And by that I mean also if something pricks up and you go, whoa, she said something funny there. Or like, let me ask her for clarification. Let me ask where she's coming from. If she kind of laughs at something you don't think is funny, you need to clarify that. Don't excuse red flags. It's no use learning all these red flags in private and then switching that off and not caring about the red flags when you're intimately with someone in public. It's like, you can't talk the talk and not walk it. Of course there's going to be that friction and dissonance. You have to try and walk the talk as much as you can. Then life will make more sense. Then there'll be less mistakes. You're not going to be perfect. You're going to stumble. You're going to be doing well. with your walking and talking for a while, where you kind of get a bit too comfortable and then someone kicks you in the stomach. It happens. But you can't be completely on autopilot. I remember, guys, if any of you have a microphone and know how to use Discord after this stream, there's usually a bunch of us that jump on my public Discord and have a chat. Again, make sure you learn how to use Discord. Just jump on a 5-minute video on YouTube. Learn how to use push to talk. And I'll jump on as well after this live stream. The link to my public Discord is in my About section, I think, on my YouTube channel. That's the latest link. Okay, let me read some of the more notable comments. So, to this question, name 3 essential qualities in a partner. Let me read some of the qualities that people put down. Mike said, happy to see you every day. Well, that's a good one. Like, when you come home or you go to her place, she's just happy to see you and you her, right? So, happy to see you every day, shows unwavering loyalty, listens to everything you say. Basically, all of that, they're interested and they make an effort to care. You don't have to kind of believe that they care because they say they love you. They actually show they care by how they speak, how they're attentive, the effort they make. The last couple of girlfriends, one in particular, I remember, I was dating her for a while, and the number one reason I can point to is she didn't make any effort in the relationship. We were going out for a while, and like nothing was that serious because I kind of took her actions as not being serious. I think I was going out with her for 10 months casually on and off while I was dating other women. And she was the longest I'd gone out with, but I wasn't in any rush. And it kind of didn't go past a certain point. And I remember at some point, I noticed that she kept expecting more from me. And I was happy to go and see her. It's kind of like, well, you don't seem like you're that invested. So I'll keep my level. I'm not going to exceed my level. I'm happy being single. I'm dating. I'm trying to find the right fit naturally. And it got to a point where she wanted me to meet her family. And mind you, in 10 months, I kept asking her, when are you going to come to my place? When are you going to come to my place? And she never came to visit me in 10 months of going out. So basically, the only way that relationship happened was if I went to see her, if I made an effort. But the funny thing is, it took the same time for her to come to visit me as it would for her to go to work every day. So it was a 25-minute drive to come to my place from her place. And it's a 25-minute drive to go from her place to her job that she goes to every day. And somehow, can you come over here? I can't be bothered going to your place. It's like, okay. And so then when it was like, meet the parents, it's like, no, look, I think this isn't going to work. You got different things on your script than I do, and you're further ahead than me. It's just the effort. I've just noticed that a lot of women just don't put this effort of being, if you're happy to see the person, if you love or like the person, you're going to lean forward and say yes to everything. You're going to want to do stuff. You don't sit back like a lazy SOB. Love isn't sitting back with your arms crossed, receiving. A lot of girls don't realize, especially because of their passive nature, they don't ask the guys out. They don't make the effort. Guys don't need him to laugh. The guys just need him to show up. If we like the girl, you showing up is enough. But your personality, your willingness is a massive factor. So a lot of women just think love is receiving. I know biologically it's receiving, but come on. In today's day and age, it doesn't fly anymore. You can't just be ladies, you just can't be an absence requiring a presence all the time. You can't just be a hole. Peg says, for this question, name 3 essential qualities. She says, multiple layers of compatibility, mindset, morals, values, humor, and interests. 2, good communicator with an honorable strength of character, able to love and be loved through the thick and thin. I would also add, if the thick and thin is the woman constantly causing the thick. I would question that if she's the one causing the bad times. Number 3 is dedicated with having quality leadership skills, the desire and action to build something great together for long-term haul. Soliloquize Solitude says, I'm assuming mutual attraction, physical attraction is a given. Yes. Physical attraction's a given. Guys are kind of like, she's got to be my type physically. Of course. Like, I think you've got to be like really low self-esteem to accept something that you're really not physically attracted to. Biology's got to take care of, has to have the first tick. Then after that, it doesn't care. You have to care after the first step. Physical attraction, if that's your gateway to a relationship, that's a very, very low bar. He continues, reliability, trustworthiness, easygoing, true femininity, as opposed to being a raging girl power, blah, blah, blah. And then third, intelligent, talented. Yeah, talent in something is really good because it tells you that they're interested in something outside of their own solipsistic need to be put on a pedestal by guys. Sergi says healthy separation from parents and environment in general. A weighted and realistic view of both parents. Healthy respect. Capability of happiness, understanding and happiness as a personal choice. Another one is loyalty, integrity, self-awareness, honesty, fidelity, integrity, honesty, faith, and good work ethic. Honesty, awareness, warmth, good personality, good looks, good cook. Integrity, David, a member says, integrity, communicative, honesty. Genuine compassion, not materialistic, spiritual. See, over and over again, it seems like guys have similar things. Honesty, a lack of this rose-colored, woo-woo, magical thinking. It's just mean what you say, communicate, integrity, trustworthiness, like it's just the same things repeated, the same ballpark. R. Vero, a member says, not taking anything for granted, communicative, being decent and fair. See, all friendship qualities. What you would describe a best friend in this regard. If someone says, why is this person a lifelong friend? These are the same things. Another one, loyal, agreeable, nurturing, humility, honesty, patience, loyal, cooperative, humble. Alex here says, he has a lot of don'ts. Don't be a whore, don't be stupid, don't be ugly. Am I being crazy here? Let's get serious again. Again, look, Alex isn't being completely funny. It's kind of don't be stupid. He's like, be mature, be a little bit intelligent. Don't be ugly. Take care of your appearance. You don't have to be a supermodel. Loyalty, reciprocity. Yeah, that's fairness again. Lightheartedness. Yeah, it's not just serious until she's happy and then she gives you some respite of tranquility. You're basically getting normal as long as you can keep her happy. You don't want a woman like that who's like, most women are constantly dissatisfied and they're constantly nagging. That's where that stereotype comes from. And all the people that say you can't stereotype, well, a lot of those true stereotypes, they stand the test of time because they're true. Like the stereotype that's not standing the test of time lately is sugar and spice and all things nice, and women are noble and women are chaste and women are fair and women are great communicators. It's like that doesn't fly anymore. It used to, when women used to be more that way. Or they used to try and practice it or hold it up as a virtue. Women don't hold up much as a virtue these days. Instead of being obnoxious, independent, and don't need anyone. That's strength. It's being the lone wolf anyway, I've talked about that before. Compatible, loyal, moral, loyal, feminine, integrity, kindness, intelligence, sense of humor, loyalty, decency, abilities. Yeah. Again, ties in with having a hobby or an interest besides shopping. Feminine, empathic, conscious, faithful, conservative, compromising, loyal, open-minded, feminine. Some funny answers too. Furious Angel says, I only need one. Loyalty. Because I said partner. Looks like loyalty. I might actually do another poll based on the most common ones here. I might do a poll and see which turns out to be the highest. Respect, commitment, integrity, honesty, respect, loyalty, loyal, feminine, kind, kindness, wisdom. Do you notice a pattern? Is like, don't be a shunt. That's what all of these are. It's like, don't be an a-hole. Can you turn that dial down or switch it off? Like, surprise, surprise, guys are attracted to women who aren't CUNTs. Donna says, a genuine friendship with all that entails, common goals, interests, and if we were to have different interests, each of us can just go and enjoy them without relationship drama. Similar and comforting physical affection styles. Yeah, your affection style is similar. I mean, that ties into that first thing of physically attracted, but yeah, this kind of romantic trope, a lot of women think that if there's one thing that's not similar, because, you know, God forbid that both of you are slightly different individuals, that women's romantic Disney movies tell them that everything should be magically a mirror to themselves. Your guy's not magically going to be a mirror to you. First and foremost, you don't like a masculine guy. Most women don't. If you want to be protected and provided for and made to feel safe, you're not going to like a mirror to you, because most women are insecure and scared of their own shadow and take most of the antidepressants out there. So you're not going to want a mirror to yourself. You want a guy who's an antidote to a lot of your, insecurities or things where you want to improve, and he can help you with that. And also, she has some attributes that soften your life or imbue your life with something. You both have to compatibly be able to relate. It doesn't mean that you need to be the same. Where you need to be the same is with broad brushstrokes of virtues, yeses and nos, and morals. Kindness, trustworthy, honesty, considerate, understanding. Curious, yep. Yeah, curious is a big thing as well. There's this saying, you can't be curious and angry at the same time. Ladies, be more curious. So you're not that angry and defensive. Some people are more religious. One person says Christian faith, loyalty, traditional values. Again, no, do you. If you know you require that, then do that. This is annoying me. My camera, why is it? Is the autofocus? Anyway. One says, leave the phone at home. I'm assuming he's had a lot of women with their phone, looking at their phone. You must be young. Loyalty. Yeah, it's a lot of the old-fashioned values, isn't it? They were around for a reason. It's got nothing to do, nothing. It's got very little to do between men and women. It's got a lot to do between human beings and the ability to form long-term bonds. If you can't have loyalty, if you can't mean what you say from today to tomorrow, then I can't build anything long-term, because I'm always starting from zero with you. And there's no point saying, where is this relationship going, when it's always starting from zero. You want it to be 3 years down the track, but you keep rewinding it back to zero because of your attitude. I can't trust you. If your man can't say he loves you, ask yourself, why not? If it's not going anywhere, ask yourself, what might you be doing? I know it's hard for most women out there, but remember, he's not just a problem in your relationship. You are both in the relationship. So you're part of the problem if your relationship isn't working. You're not having a relationship with yourself. You're having a relationship with someone else. Agreeableness, loyal, supportive, mileage, number of relationships, loyalty, accountability, modesty, loyal, submissive, communicative, responsible, conscientious, honest, obedient, disagreeable, devotion. Obedient and disagreeable? Okay. Okay, there's a longer response underneath that. I'll get to that another time. Yeah, so there's a lot of old school, stoic, timeless things that will never go out of style. It never goes out of style with friendship, with families, with lovers. If you want anything long term that you can rely upon, it makes sense why it would never go out of style. Ted1775, human, where are the good women? There's not many good ones around. And by that, a lot of women actually think, see, but I'm special. So I feel better about myself because I'm better than all those bitches out there. Like women's competitive nature, that's what they think they're special. Whenever people talk about finding a good woman or the exceptional one, they think, oh, me, because I'm great. It's like, no. It's like, how do you have long-term friends? Are you a bitch? Do you feel proud of that? You should be, if you wear a badge, like if you're proud of wearing the I'm such a bitch badge, that says a lot about you. You can't laugh that. If guys are attracted to hot messes, but most of them think twice about introducing them to their parents and settling down with them, because hot messes, bitchy women, they're fun for a night. Just like bad boys for women are fun for a night. But most guys sober up before they get to the next stage, whereas women, they never sober up with bad boys until it's too late, and even then they don't sober up. Karu says, how about no debt? Yeah. If her life is a train wreck, it may suggest that she living with her or being with her or dating with her will be a train wreck too. If she can't manage her finances, she can't have friends, her social life is in shambles, she can't keep a job, she's kind of drifting all the time. But it doesn't make sense given like she portrays this great, sweet, timid, shy kind of girl. I would say under the surface there's a lot of stuff post-honeymoon that you're going to experience that you never saw until later. AC says, not many mentioning humility. No, not that particular word, but yeah, certainly self-reflection, fairness. A few people mention fairness, and I think that's tied in with humility, where you can observe yourself. You're consistent. You don't expect from others what you don't give. So Neanderthal says, why are so many men simping or doing whatever women want without feeling it's wrong? Biology. When they're with a pretty girl, they let themselves go and they feel what they feel. Because let's face it, when you go on a date, you want to feel good. You don't want to be bound up in sort of manosphere suit of armor. You'll never get anywhere. People, if they're not that intelligent, their spider sense tingles and they go, this person's weird. This person's closed off. This person's not fun to be around. They're kind of cold and distant. So we go on dates. We want to be, our biology wants to be around women because we want to let go and just have fun. Dates and women are supposed to be fun. Why else are you going on a date then? At the very least, if you want to go to bed with them, you want that to be fun. So you want to feel good. That's why you go on dates. And that's the very hard thing to reconcile. But it's like training. The more of this stuff you know, and the more you insist that your life be better by the way you conduct yourself, and you're not going to go on autopilot and let biology get you drunk and then put you in a bad place again. This time, you'll let biology say she's pretty, but beyond that, biology doesn't get a say anymore until I vet her over time, where you can let the walls down. Some comments here. Jared, under this stream, said, my girlfriend said she was sorry a couple of times. She said it sarcastically in anger, but she said it. Yeah, a lot of times these women, about the only time that they'll say they're sorry is in a sarcastic way where they don't really mean it. It's not a humble, genuine, like, I'm really sorry, I didn't realize, or yeah, I was acting like an idiot. B-Dub says, in my family, my mother and sisters never would apologize or say sorry or anything of the sort, but if you slighted, wronged, or bothered them, the expectation was for you to apologize, say sorry, and make amends. I always thought this was normal. It wasn't until much later I understood. Yeah, I've heard this romantic trope growing up. You fight with your girlfriend or your missus, and the guy should be the one who calls up and apologizes, even though even if she was in the wrong, it's the right thing to do. And to me, that was always dumb. The right thing to do is the right thing to do. There's certain things where because you're not being honest to yourself. You're lying to make a child feel better. There are certain things where you shouldn't be, like, you should have some civil tact, where you don't embarrass your partner in public. So if you disagree with something they said in public, you don't lie and say, yeah, she's right, where you don't believe she's right. In private, when you're not in front of people, you can say you disagree, or I don't think that's right, or actually these are the facts, and you have a discussion. You don't embarrass your partner in public, even if she is wrong. That's not exactly lying. That's social tact. But that thing where she's never wrong, she's always got to be made to feel happy, she doesn't have to admit she was wrong, you have to apologize and pretend that technically, yeah, we're going to leave it unspoken that she was wrong, but you're going to say it's all okay. That's just daddy making daughter, acquiescing her to make her happy. Here, I'll buy you a pony. You cried. No, you cried, you had a tantrum, and I'll tell you why you shouldn't have. Or this was your fault. How else are you supposed to teach children lessons to grow up and be accountable and take responsibility? And that's half of the problem of women today, is they're children who are encouraged to stay children because there are never any consequences. It's never their fault. There's never any reason to make women feel bad. There's never any reason to give women consequences. And there's never any reason to say that, well, you're having a crappy life now, lady, because of these steps prior. You can't even say that because it's apparently never her fault. And again, those kind of women, avoid them. They're not going to be people who have your corner in a relationship. They're not going to be anyone you can rely on. Basically, if you go out with childish women and you have relationships with childish women, then when serious stuff comes up in life, you're the only adult in the room. So you not only have to deal with the adult issues in life, you have no support. You also have to deal with a child as well. So you have the world on your back and a child on your back, even if you don't have children, if you know what I mean. You have a female child that's just pretty on your back in serious times, and you have these serious problems on the world. Whereas in the past, our ancestors, when things are all fun and good, yeah, the child in you can come out, you can have fun, you can play video games, you can enjoy whatever you want to enjoy. But when life insists that you act serious, we used to have women that used to dial up the serious a bit to be supportive. Even if the man had to crank up his serious volume more than the woman, at least he would have some support to make it less burdensome for the guy in terms of having to deal with something serious. That's another benefit of having a supportive partner, not a inert lump or a nagging lump or a lump that doesn't love you or wants nothing to do with you until you get the serious stuff in order, like you lost your job and she doesn't want to be around you or she doesn't love you anymore. It's like, it used to be, whether you're religious or not, good or bad, thick or thin, in good times or bad. Because I'm pretty sure women would appreciate that. You know, if she goes through bad times, if she's not her best, She wants a guy to stick by her. That's love. That's support. But when a guy has his, women are like, well, I don't like that. I'm not in love anymore. No. You're being a selfish bitch because you should be supporting him. You don't just... It's easy to support someone when times are good. The test, when you're tested, is when you can really support someone. It's not just lip service. Under my recent video, what makes a decent girlfriend? This one. MS said, women seem to have more personality disorders than men do. Men act them out differently, but perhaps it's the simpler creatures explanation. As in, yeah, I often say, men are very simple creatures, but we're not stupid. We're very basic. Because as well with my life, the less complexity in my life there is, the clearer it is. It doesn't mean, you know, I'm a dope who just needs one bed and one dining table and one computer. You're more advanced because somehow a lot of stuff and complexity correlates with intelligence. It's stupid. Like it's the same thing where women believe that they're better communicators simply because they talk more. No, you got a lot of gibberish and a lot of trash in your life verbally. It doesn't mean you communicate well. It doesn't mean you're intelligent. There's a difference between simplicity and clarity compared to chaos and a lot of noise. But I digress. That's why poetry is respected. It's a lot of meaning condensed into one line. And a lot of guys respect that. A lot of guys respect the Stoic aphorisms of, you know, the Stoics of the past. They poetically encapsulate a lot into a very small space because you can see it all at once. It's not a paragraph, it's a line. Quality. MS continues. I've met more women with cluster B personality, dramatic, erratic, than cluster C, anxious and fearful, or cluster A, blah, blah, blah. They're all classified as personality disorders. This is the interesting bit. In his comment, I've thought, I am tired of how many cluster B types I've met calling themselves strong, independent women. Yes. There's a lot of women with personality disorders that they hamster wheel themselves, and because society tells them so, they say, no, you're not disordered. You're actually strong and independent, and no one, because everyone else is the problem, they don't understand such an advanced primate as yourself. Yeah, I'm tired of all these cluster Bs calling themselves strong, independent women. He continues, pathological female categorization is sadly more simple than asking her what her sign is and given more useful information to work with. Vero, a member, said, I checked and kept the most important boxes for me. Why can't women do the same? Anyway, I'm done with the relationships. This is a really interesting thing that Vero said. He says, time is precious and I don't want to waste it rebuilding myself anymore. I'm going to make a video on this. And I was talking with Karu and Rocket, a couple of guys this morning, about rebuilding yourself. Men are tired of wasting their effort. There's a difference, I would contend, and I'm going to talk about it in this video. Men are tired of being a building that's knocked down by the wrecking ball of a woman. And she just happily moves on and knocks down another building. There's a difference between building yourself, expanding, realizing as a guy, I'm going to get rid of this. I've outgrown this. I'm going to become a better person. I'm going to move forward. There's a difference between moving forward and being destroyed and losing 10 years of your life and trying to regain like who you are again. So rebuilding yourself, I thought that was a very important statement. Not wasting your time and constantly having to rebuild yourself after a woman has destroyed you. Again, it's a man's responsibility not to erase himself because he just wants to submit to whatever she wants in the relationship, and so he has no semblance of who he is. We need to do better in that. What's my ISO? What's my white balance anyway? Anyway, who cares? I better be at 30 frames a second on my stream. Am I? Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Hopkins, related to this video, what makes a decent girlfriend. He says, as a 23-year-old, I don't understand what I should take away from your videos, human. That all women are horrible and I should forget the idea of having a long-term relationship? No, I never suggest that. I want guys to think better and make better decisions, whether you want to have kids, be married, you're religious, you're a monk. I don't care, whatever your lifestyle is kind of, don't forget what you want, and be a person you're proud of. Like, if you were in this relationship with this chick, if you were your own best friend, what would you be saying to yourself? August Lyon actually responded to Hopkins and gave a nice response. He said, the takeaway is that you should understand female nature, accept women for what they are, and go into any interaction with them with your eyes open. If you believe the fairy tale that women can love you the way you want to be loved by them, you are setting yourself up for a world of hurt instead. Instead, live for yourself and incorporate women into your life only on your terms, and don't be upset when they come and go. It's simply how they are. And August Lyon also added a nice comment on his own. He said, the analogy of just wanting a job regardless of the pay is kind of funny, because that's how I felt in the past. I lived a very minimalistic life and legitimately don't care that much about money. I'm the same. He continues, maybe I've had a minimalist attitude about women too. I wanted to underline that. I just wanted some fun and companionship and didn't really care about her specific attributes. Maybe that's why I've always picked substandard women. This was very interesting because this really spoke to me, August Lyon. It sounds like we're very, very similar. I'm a very minimalist person. I don't care about money. I like to reduce things down to simple things so I have a lot of clarity in my life. Maybe it's also the writer in me. I like, writing and rewriting and condensing and like rewriting to the point where it's poetic, where there's no more lines in my sentence that I can remove without losing the meaning of that line. But if I add more lines, it just muddies that line. So I'm a minimalist as well. I think I've a lot of time just taken substandard women because, I don't need much. And like, I like the clarity in myself, knowing how my life is structured. I don't need a lot. And then also you pick women that aren't very much as well. You pick very minimal women, and that's not really good either. It's almost going against your own nature as a guy. Like, I'm a very minimal, simple guy. I have to consciously train myself to want and expect more from women because I don't need very much for myself. I'm fine. I'm a very simple guy. But we have to, it's almost like going against your natural instincts when you're looking for a woman. You have to pay attention for more, because women just don't give much at all, and they're very incompatible. So those simple compatibilities are very key. We get, because of myself, like food, you go out with friends, I'll just pick that. That's okay for me. You're not very particular. It's because if I go out and they don't have exactly my favorite pizza, I can find a pizza that, it's good enough, just give me any pizza, as long as it's not this or this one. But the problem is the pizza's not going to ruin my life. If I have an upset stomach or it doesn't taste great, after I eat it, my life is back to normal, But it sounds like you and I are very similar, August Lyon. Yeah, right says, about the recent video, what makes a decent girlfriend. He says, there was a study done where they asked 300 men and 300 women if they couldn't get 80% of what they wanted in a man, would they be happy with that? Or a woman. If you couldn't get 80% of what you wanted in a man or a woman, what the people would answer. All the men said yes. They would be happy with getting 80% of their ideal woman. But all the women said no, because they would be settling. This is at the heart of women's misery. They make their lives miserable because they're not realistic. They let a lot of guys go that are realistically as good as they can get. Like, the world, the universe just keeps giving them like, these are great guys. These are great guys, but they're not perfect. Oh, I'm perfect. It's like, but as time goes on, you become less perfect. You become more jaded. You become more specific. And there's no oxygen left in your world to accommodate anyone. Not just because you're very specific, because you've just exercised the muscle of never settling, of never committing to anything. And so you will look for any excuse not to commit. There's always cracks to find in anyone. But anyway, I'll continue with the comment. So 80% of the men said, they asked men and women if you could only get 80% of what you want in a person. All the men said yes, but all the women said no, because the women felt like they were settling. And so he continues, what women don't realize is that no man gets 80% of what he wants in a woman. This is true. And most men are willing to settle for a loyal woman who doesn't make his life hell. Exactly. If you want to encapsulate what all men want a loyal woman who doesn't make her life make his life hell. Who doesn't nag. Call us simple, but it encapsulates a lot of the friction, the incompatibility and stress between men and women. It goes back to what someone told me shortly after my divorce. They said, you don't miss her, you miss her body. And that's 100% true. The woman was a nightmare. It was the physical that held me there. Women just don't bring much, it seems. When I look back, most of us, when we look back, it was just a physical person. And when we look back at it, it's like the last semblance of our hopeful naivety, like trying to hold on to an image of who she might have been at the start. It's just gone. Like, I can't pretend it's going to be her. That person was a dream. And I just have a nightmare in front of me. I can't keep hoping for the nightmare to end. It's not. It's never going to turn into a dream. Wouldn't that be something? Imagine you're in a relationship, you wake up and it was all a dream. James Hawk, for the What Makes a Decent Girlfriend video, he says, if they could just be chilled and reasonable, that would be great. Lack of stress. Guys don't want to come back. I think girls are used to drama. They like drama. You look at the TV shows that women all watch. It's drama. Women fighting, stress. Oh my God, did you see what Nancy said? And they had a fight and she backstabbed her and she wasn't loyal and she betrayed her. And all this drama, betrayal, fighting, arguments. And when they get with a guy, they're not used to that relationship because it's not the kind of dynamic they had with their girlfriends. It's like, I'm not used to this comfort. I'm not used to this consistent tranquility. Let me turn it into something I'm used to. Stress, nagging, more. Like they keep poking and prodding. And I responded, I said, yeah, nagging in stereotypes with women it's a stereotype for a reason. Women love drama, yet they want stability. You can't keep, a man wants stability, consistency, and harmony. They're his foundations. And a woman keeps knocking those foundations away. It's like a chair. You know, the pillars like stability, loyalty, comfort, whatever your pillars are. And a woman keeps like trying to knock one of those legs off and dislodge them. And when it falls over, it's like, oh, well, it was your fault. It's like, but you did it. No, I didn't. They want the chair to be stable, but they're hell-bent on knocking the chair legs out. And then saying, why wasn't it stable? Timothy said, if women have unrealistic standards, then they are all settling. Yeah, it's true. In their eyes, they have these really noble high standards, but they're not realistic where if they get most of it, they should be grateful. They're not grateful. They're never grateful. And then they get 100%, they will look for cracks. They will poke at it to create drama, so it won't be perfect. So it's familiar to the schoolyard. So it's familiar to female nature and her girlfriends and stuff where they always argue and backstab and bitch. Mr. Cheer commented on a video of last week where the old one, it's not that old, where I said, "Oh, come on, are you serious?" It was about the nightclub where they're going to ban staring, a nightclub here in Sydney. He says, "So officers in pink vests have to stare at everyone to make sure no one's staring, and doing so presumably without everyone else's prior consent as per the rule." Top tier logic, yeah. They're going to stare at everyone to make sure no one's staring, because staring isn't allowed. That's female logic for you. Johnny D says, "I want a woman intelligent enough to have her own thoughts and wise enough to know her perspective isn't the beginning and the end of the discussion. Evidently, that's a tall order." Mr. Highway, regarding my video, this one, don't expect this to happen. When I was talking about don't expect the fantasy of the woman to come back and apologize and you get to redo your relationship. He says, "I'm glad you said this. Men are more idealistic than women. We are. We're much more romantic than women are. Whatever a woman says is usually not what she is. It's usually what she hopes she could be or what she's trying to sell herself to be because she knows a man will find it impressive or everyone finds it impressive." Mr. Highway continues, "Men are more idealistic than women. They want some cosmic poetic justice to come and balance the scale. It's healthier to come back down to reality and realize that sometimes you get the short end of the stick and that's it. People often get hurt or even benefit from situations that they do get hurt in when they don't deserve it. People keeping score, stop keeping score and start living life." That's a good motto. Stop keeping score and start living your life. It forces you beyond all of our forces beyond all of our comprehension are tracking and balance. It's not your job. Yep. Well said, Mr. Highway. Well said. Fanfare, he says, "Still looking for mum is the reason for most men. Mum's not coming back, boys." Yeah, you're not going to have that relationship with your mother that you did when you were a kid. It feels good. You won't have it. You don't have that relationship now when you're older, but you don't realize it. Your mum still sort of sees you as her child, so it's easy to kind of say, "Oh, that's still alive," but you're not a child anymore. Security Supreme says about the video, the nightclub where you're not allowed to stare. He says, "How will they know if I'm staring? LOL." Yeah, obviously they have to stare at you. And Char Brew, regarding my video, how random dating feels. He says, "This goes to my thought that dating today is a hobby unto itself and not a means to a meaningful, lasting relationship. It's pretending to be a rock star, but they can't play guitar. So instead of putting in the effort to actually play the guitar, it's this constant fantasy of playing air guitar. That fantasy of doing something great, as if it was somehow adequate, and the childish dreaming this childish dreaming intended to happen in perpetuity." Good way of good analogy. Everyone's playing air guitar and demanding that everyone say they're able to really play guitar, but they haven't put in any effort. Yeah, most people on dates are going like this. Doesn't it sound great? It's like, you're nuts. Can you put down your hands and talk to me? Or can you pick up a guitar and actually play me a tune? Anyway. Any questions? Any questions directed at me during this stream? If not, let's head for the finish line. Or let me use another analogy. Let's land this plane. Either people are just used to my rambling, but people are asking me less and less questions. I think people just... I've actually suspected this, that I'm just enjoying chatting to you guys, whether it's on the stream or in my videos. And I'm convinced that like a lot of like the past, working things out is all well and good. But as you move forward, as you go your own way, as you figure things out your own way, just being able to express yourself and hang out with guys, share space, conversation, you'll figure things out for yourself. It's, I think, a reason why some therapy is beneficial. It's the therapist doesn't tell you what to do. They allow you to work things out yourself. And so I think a lot of these live streams and my videos, they're therapeutic, I think, in the sense that guys can hang out and talk to each other, share stories, communicate, rather than laying down rules about what the answers to life are. As Stanislaw Lem so eloquently put it, there are no answers, there are only choices. And talking about this sort of stuff helps guys make better choices. I just want guys to, without the rose-colored glasses, make whatever decisions they feel they need to, or would give them meaning or happiness or feel some sort of life. And for some guys, it's really having a family and more the traditional life. And for other guys, it's not. I started this channel as a video diary to work my own stuff out, and also to be part of a community of guys that were trying to do the same thing. And I'm still doing the same thing because it's a lot of fun. I love video editing. Obviously, I'm a nerd with gear as well. So it gives me content by which to be able to make videos. And the consequence is that I've been able to connect with a lot of guys and have interesting conversations. You guys have taught me and made me think about other stuff too, and helped me answer some questions as well. And I've expanded and pushed a few of those further too. But the conversation going on is the great thing. So keep the conversations going, guys. Like, subscribe as well. Helps the algorithm. Click, add a bullshit comment like apple pie. Say YouTube loves you interacting. If you're not clicking, liking, commenting, they will unsubscribe you. You have to keep clicking. You have to interact. Not my rules. Yeah, like, subscribe, join at whatever tier you want. If you join, then your name gets a little avatar next to it, and I can actually see you in the chat. So, and if you want to ask me a question, either become a member or just add a couple of brightly colored emojis, or super chat me in this live stream. Can you super chat a video? I don't think you can super chat a video. Or you could do the equivalent of a what are they called? A donation or a super comment or something. I'm not sure. Johnny says, have a good Sunday. I can go to sleep knowing that Sunday will happen now. Yeah, and for any of you guys who have microphones, jump on Discord after this. A few of us get on Discord and have a bit of a conversation. Make sure you give people space to talk. And let me know if, like August Line and myself, a lot of you guys who are minimalists, who like to simplify life to make it more clear, have unknowingly picked very minimal women, as in they're cookie cutter women and you don't require anything of them because you're so minimalist. Because everything else in life where you judge things minimally, they don't affect you in that same way. They give you clarity. So when you're minimalist and you just pick one simple bed, that bed is functionally simple and it serves the purpose it's designed for. Women are a big question mark. Aside from what's between their legs, everything else is a question mark. So you can't be minimal. You have to be intentionally going against your minimalist attitude and requiring her to be compatibly complex is the wrong word, but compatibly kind of fitting your essential qualities that you need. Because with your family and friends, they don't require so much of you. Once you get in a relationship, a woman demands a lot. And if you're not compatible, those demands really, really make your life hell. Thank you very much for the super chat. No. He says, I really like the way you say cathartic. Well, because you super chatted, I'll say cathartic 3 times and cathartic again. Yeah, there's certain words with my Australian slang that I agree, they don't sound as polished. Especially where Australians are very lazy at the end of certain words. Where I do respect the American dialect, where they do really pronounce R's. Like we say R, like A, not AR, where they say R, like they really pronounce the R. So you can actually hear every letter that's spoken in the American dialect, but in the Australian ones, it's kind of lazy. Bet I was born here. And if I start talking like an American, everyone around here is going to think me weird. Anyway, guys, any last questions? If not, let's wrap things up. And as always, add your comments under the recent videos, and especially under the recent question I gave in the community section about name 3 essential qualities you have in a partner. It seems like they're all similar, and I'll pick the main ones and I'll put them as a poll, because it seems like the same kind of qualities are the ones that guys are looking for. It's not surprising, but it's interesting that the same ones keep coming to the forefront, and it's the ones that men just don't get from women. And it's not like, oh, men want these things, but they don't deserve it. It's like they're basic human qualities that you can't actually take a first step in trusting anyone or getting anywhere committed or long-term. If she can't provide it, like, it doesn't go anywhere. It's never personal. You're always general, and you're always a member of the public. You're an acquaintance that I know, that I keep at a distance. If you don't want to be kept at a distance, you need to have those basic qualities that a lot of these guys have mentioned under name 3 essential qualities. So let me know your 3 essential qualities. I'll put it up as a poll, and I'll see you guys in the next video this week. Keep the comments coming. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the channel at whatever tier you want. And for those of you with a microphone, jump on my Discord and have a chat. I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Bye.